I got promoted by accident and no one noticed. I was faking it the whole time. I didn't mean to get promoted. I want that on record. It all started with a fire drill, a literal one. Every Wednesday, our office held a preparedness drill, which was code for let's all gather in the parking lot for 15 minutes and gossip. But this time, Greg from accounting decided to microwave leftover sushi. Within 3 minutes, the smell had tripped the fire alarms and summoned something resembling an ancient evil from the break room vents. By the time we all got outside, Greg was trying to fan the smoke with a manila folder, our office manager was nowhere to be found, and for some reason, I was holding the emergency clipboard. Okay, everyone's here. We're good, I said, thinking someone else would take over. No one did. That was the moment it happened. I became emergency point person. It's a cursed title. The HR director saw me with the clipboard and said, "You handled that well," and then added a mysterious, "noted." 2 days later, my email signature read, Acting Office Manager. I wasn't consulted. My first act in this new role was to figure out what exactly office managers do. I Googled it. Half the results were inspirational blog posts written by people who genuinely loved binders. The other half were jokes about printers and coffee. The problem was, our actual office manager, Tammy, hadn't quit. She just stopped showing up. No notice, no forwarding address, just a post-it on her desk that said, "I'm out. Good luck." So now I was the acting manager, still in my cubicle, pretending I knew how to manage a team of 42 adults. My first challenge, budget meetings. I walked into the finance room with the confidence of a man who had just watched 2 YouTube videos on sounding like a leader. I opened the meeting with a confident nod and said, "Let's circle back to the synergy of our spend dynamics." Nobody knew what that meant, so they assumed I knew something they didn't. By the end of the meeting, I'd accidentally approved a $2,000 espresso machine for marketing. The espresso machine arrived in 3 days. The second week of my accidental reign, things escalated. Karen from legal started asking for policy updates. She sent emails with acronyms I had to Urban Dictionary. I panicked and said I was working on a comprehensive realignment of procedural frameworks. That bought me 2 weeks and made it sound like I was planning something revolutionary. In reality, I spent those 2 weeks trying to convince IT to make my email signature bold. That's how I met Omar, a genius in flip-flops who ran our entire network on caffeine and passive aggression. We bonded over our mutual confusion. He showed me how to set up a fake reply delay so I wouldn't have to answer emails instantly. In return, I pretended to authorize a better chair for him. It was a lie. But now he likes me, and I consider that a success. By the 3rd week, people were inviting me to things called leadership huddles. I showed up to the first one with a hoodie and a cup of instant ramen. Everyone else had MacBooks and expressions like they were about to launch a rocket. Still, no one questioned me. My biggest blunder came during quarterly sync. I didn't know what that meant, so I made a slideshow featuring pie charts from a cookie sales fundraiser I ran in high school. No one noticed. In fact, someone said, "Interesting take on distributed metrics." I nodded solemnly and said, "It's all about digestible data." Later that day, the VP of operations said I had vision, so now I had to come up with one. I chose snack station overhaul. I emailed a proposal suggesting we replace stale granola bars with mini tacos and had it approved before anyone realized I wasn't joking. When the tacos arrived, morale skyrocketed. Someone wrote "Best Acting Manager Ever" on the whiteboard in dry erase marker. I took a photo of it. I now use it as my LinkedIn banner. But then Tammy came back. She walked in on a Wednesday like nothing had happened, holding a green juice and a tote bag that said "Spiritual Sabbatical Survivor." She gave me a hug. I didn't know what to do with my arms. Then she sat down at her desk like she'd never left. HR held an emergency meeting. I was told I'd be reassigned back to my previous role, but with a bonus, thanks for the help. I expected to feel relief. Instead, I felt kind of awesome, like I'd just passed a weird side quest in a video game. I didn't die. I didn't crash the system. I got a raise and unlimited access to the good pens. The new office manager, an actual one with a background in logistics and a very serious spreadsheet habit, asked me for tips on navigating the team. I now sit 2 rows from my old desk with a better chair and slightly more mysterious aura. People think I know things. I let them think that. Every time there's a minor crisis, someone yelling about the espresso machine or Karen needing a compliance matrix, I sip my coffee, tilt my head and say, "We handled that during my tenure." And then I walk away before anyone can ask what I mean.